5 big mistakes about the swallow that is good for a diabetic patient. A lot of people have different ideas on what is the ideal swallow for a diabetic patient. But in an effort to choose the best swallow for diabetic patient, a lot of mistakes are being made. If you want to know the number one misconception, watch this video to the end. Number 5 is a misconception that fonio and wheat swallow do not contain sugar. So this is a great misconception because fonio and wheat, they are carbohydrates and they contain sugar. So if you don't eat it properly, it's going to elevate your blood sugar. A lot of diabetic patients that have been diabetic for long, over 10 years, they have that misconception. And the only swallow they usually take is either fonio or wheat. And they get so tired of taking it. Sometimes it affects their appetite. So this is a great misconception. Fonio and wheat, they are carbohydrates, so they contain sugar. So, but if you eat it properly, you won't have any problem. Number 4 is similar to number 5. That misconception that since fonio and wheat do not have sugar, you can eat a lot till you're full. I have a patient that tells me that he usually takes 2 to 3 wraps of fonio swallow, which is totally wrong. I earlier said they contain carbohydrates, so if you're going to take them, make sure you eat small with a lot of vegetable soup. That will ensure that your blood sugar does not spike. Number 3 is the misconception that unripe plantain swallow does not contain sugar. I agree that unripe plantain does not have the sugar that ripe plantain has, but if you're going to do swallow with unripe plantain, you still have to observe portion control. So though it doesn't have the sugar content of the ripe one, but it also has sugar. So you still have to observe portion control. Eat small, like the size of your feast. Number 2 big mistake is that diabetic patient cannot eat maize or rice swallow. That is totally wrong. But how are you going to take it? The maize, you make sure you roughly ground it. You can take maize swallow as long as you observe portion control. Similarly with rice, you can also take rice swallow. Any carbohydrate that is a whole carbohydrate, not too much refined, you can take it as long as you're taking it properly. Number 1 misconception is that the company flour is better than homemade flour in making swallow. That is totally wrong, because you see a lot of company flour saying that it is best for diabetic patient, but most of the company flour are not roughly grounded, and as I explained earlier, if it is not roughly grounded, it's not good for the diabetic patient. So the assumption that company flour is better than homemade flour is the biggest misconception in terms of the swallow that is best for a diabetic patient.